This is Mr. Schultz coming to you live from S205. It appears there has been some disturbance in the force. What force, you're asking? Well, evidently, it appears that we can actually solve systems all on the calculator. That's right. Very little math involved. All we have to do is write an equation and type it in the calculator. You can't beat that now, can you? So let's see, how can we exactly do this? That's the topic of today's investigative report. Now, you might see up here that it says the TI-84. This corresponds to these steps, which are on the front of your notes, the side with all the problems. If you're at home and you have an 84, and yeah, you can use an 84 with those steps. However, I'm going to show you how to do them with the TI-nSpires. These steps are actually on the back of your notes. So if you turn your paper over, you'll be able to see the steps. Now, we're not going to exactly walk through this problem, but if you get lost, you can't remember what I did, turn your paper over and there's the steps. Also, just to note, this matrix right here, this matrix right here, does not go with this problem up here. These are not related, not equal. This is a totally different problem than that one. So don't let that confuse you here. Just use these for the steps more than anything. Don't get caught up on numbers and all that stuff. Anyways, let's talk about what a matrix equation is. So wherever you want to write this, you can write it on the back, you can write it on the front, and any white space on the left-hand side, wherever you want to write it. Let's say we have two equations in standard form, meaning they're in ax plus by equals c. That's one equation. Our other equation is dx plus ey equals f. So we got two equations that look like that. What we can do is we can create what's called the matrix equation. And really this is, I don't want to say the hardest part. The hardest part's honestly going to be putting it in the calculator. But anyways, for the matrix equation, we're going to take the x's and the y's. Now, these two aren't part of your equation. I'm just writing them for illustration. Now, in this first column, we want to put our x's. What's in front of this x? It's an a. What's in front of that x? It's a d. That's what we're going to put in this first column. A, D. Now, let's look at the next column, the y's. What's in front of your y here? A b. What's in front of your y on the second equation? An e. That's what we put there. Now, I'm going to erase this x and this y because they really don't go there. I just did that to help you see where things went. Our other part of our equation, there are the two variables. This is where x and y go. And then that's equal to, now we have our answers. So if I highlight what we're going to put where, we have a C and we have an F. That's what goes here, C and F. This is what you'll write on your homework. When you put this in the calculator, so let's see, this is on homework. On the calculator, and we'll get to how to do it in a minute. I'll pull up the calculator program and show you. We want to enter it in like this, A, D, B, E, to the -1 power times CF. Now again, these are all numbers. A's a number, B's a number, D's a number, E's a number. Everything's a number here. This is just setting everything up. So let's take this concept and see how it exactly will relate to what we're doing. So here's our calculator program. Now we're not quite ready for this just yet. I'm just trying to get everything set up. There we go. So eventually we'll be on the scratch pad. But let's look at the first problem. Right now we don't even know what to plug in. So we're going to look at the first problem. They tell us to do two things here. One, we have to write the matrix equation. Two, we have to solve. Now it's saying solve, really it might as well just say type in calculator, because that's what we're doing. So if we do our matrix equation and we look at number 1 here, you'll notice that nothing's in front of the x. So let's make that a 1. Now let's set up our matrix equation here. So we're going to have a column of x's and a column of y's. What's in front of your x's? A 1 and a 2. That's what goes here. 1, 2. Now let's look at our y's. What are in front of our y's? 3. Now let's make that a different color. 3 and -4. Notice I didn't just say 4. There's a minus there. I need the minus. 3 and -4. Finish our equation. We need an x and a y. That's what we're trying to find. And that's equal to, well, what's it equal to? It's equal to a 3 and then a 6. 3, 6. That's our matrix equation. So that's part 1. Now part 2, we have to type this all in the calculator. So everyone needs to get their calculator and if I were you, I would follow along as we're doing it. I'll try to go slow. That way you can see exactly what's going on here. If you get lost though, remember, the steps are on the back of your notes. So if you follow those steps, you'll still be able to do it. Okay, so I'm on the scratch pad on the calculator. What I need to do is I need to create a matrix. So if you watch my keypad over here, every button I hit will turn red. So if anything, follow where the button is red. That's what you'll press in that order. So to do the matrix, I will hit menu. See, menu turned red, and a menu popped up. Menu. What are we doing? We're doing a matrix. What option is matrix? That's option 7. So hit 7. Let me back out of this. Hang on, guys. Okay. I'm not going to put my mouse over there. It's going to mess it up. You go to menu. We want matrix, which is 7. So 7. We want to create. So 1. And we want to create a matrix. So 1 again. Menu 7, 1, 1. That's how you get a matrix. Now look on your paper. The main matrix with the numbers in it. How many rows does it have? Rows go side to side. It's got 2 rows. So that's okay. We're going to hit enter. It's got 2 rows and 2 columns. Luckily, this matrix is the right size. These are rows here. Columns go up and down. There's 2 columns. So now we need to enter that first matrix that we have on our notes. So in this blank, we'll put a 1. Then you can go over by hitting the arrow key, or you can hit tab. Arrow or tab will make you go over. Put a 3 there. Go over to the, oh, no, I need to go that way. So get down to this box, we'll put a 2. And then we put a -4. So now I've put the matrix in there. I need to get all the way out of the matrix. So I'm going to hit my arrow key, and that kicks me out. Once I put the -4 in, and I hit the arrow, it's going to kick me out. Now, I need to raise this to the -1 power. If you look below the equal sign, so you have control, equal, there's a little, it's called a caret. I'm going to hit this button, look where it turns red, and then try to find that button on your calculator. It's right there in line with the 4. First of that row, it's called a caret. Hit the caret, and we're going to put a -1 up there. Once we put the -1, we'll hit our arrow key to get out. So it gives you a big line now. Now we need to put our other matrix in there, our answer matrix. So again, I'll go menu, matrix, which is 7, create, matrix. Now this time, we still have 2 rows, but we only have one column. So you'll need to take your little pointer here, click the down arrow, because you only want one for the column. 2 rows, 1 column. And I got this one here by clicking the down button. 2 rows, 1 column, then you can click OK. And it'll come up with this matrix here. Now we want to enter our small matrix. So we'll put a 3. Whoa, not 33, just 3. Go down. Come on, go down. There we go. Go down and we want a 6. So that's how your equation should look in the calculator. Once you get it in there like that, and everything looks good, you can hit enter. Notice it gives you a small matrix back. This small matrix is your answer. 3 is our x, 0 is our y. So we'll come over here. Our solution, we got an x of 3, a y of 0. That's our answer. Okay. I would say questions on that one, but the whole reason I'm doing this video is I'm not here. So how can I answer your questions if I'm not actually in the room? Anyways, let's look at number 2. Number 2. We have our x's right here, our y's right here. Remember, if there's a y or an x, but nothing in front, we say that's a 1. So let's use this to create our matrix. Our x's are 3 and negative 6. So I'm going to put a 3 and a negative 6. Our y's are 2 and 1. So I'm going to put a 2 and a 1. Now I want to put my x and my y. That just kind of goes in there automatically. Equals. Well, we'll have a negative 2 and a negative 16. There's our matrix equation. Now we need to take this and put it in the calculator. So I won't go, I'll do it with you, I just won't go quite as slow. I'll speed it up a little bit, that way I don't bore y'all all to sleep. Okay, so back in the calculator, remember to do a matrix, you go menu, 7 for matrix, create, which is 1, matrix, which is 1. How many rows do we have? 2 rows. How many columns? 2 columns. Click OK. Now we enter all of our numbers into our matrix, just like we wrote them on the paper. So I'll put a 3, a 2, a negative 6, and a 1. There's our matrix. Remember, we need to get out of it. And then we want to look for that caret. That's over here by the 4. Close to it at least. Hit the caret. And we're going to put a negative 1 in there. Okay, we got our negative 1. Get out of the exponent. So we got to hit the arrow again. Now we need to put our smaller matrix in there. So menu, 7 for matrix, 1 create, 1 matrix. But this time we still need 2 rows, but we only need 1 column. So 2, 1. Okay. Now we need to put our answers matrix in there. So -2 and -16. Once we get that entered, hit enter. This one will give you an x of 2, a y of -4. That's your solution. 2, -4. So put that on here. 2, -4. Okay, number 3. Now, number 3, I will caution you. Be careful. They're trying to be sneaky here. We need x's and y's on the same side. I'm even going to write that here. Need x and y on the same side. That's very, very important. If we look at our first equation, x and y are not on the same side. So let's fix it. I'm going to rewrite it down here. 5x plus 9 equals y. What can I do to get the x and the y on the same side? Well, if I subtract the y over, so minus y, I'll get 5x minus y. I still have a plus 9 over there. So I got to move the 9 over now. Minus 9. We're going to have 5x minus y equals -9. That's the equation we'll want to use. So I'm going to write it up here. 5x minus y equals -9. That's one equation. Our other equation is 2x plus y equals 2. Now, I could work this one out all the way, but we've already done 2 like this that are 2 by 2. It'll end up being 2 by 2. Let's at least write the equation though. Our matrix equation. So our x's would be 5 and 2. Y's would be -1 and 1. There's that part of the equation. Then you have x and y equals -9 and 2. So like I said, I could sit there and say, okay, let's do this in the calculator. But we have 2 more to do, and I don't want y'all waiting all day to finish notes. So we'll skip it. I will say, if you want to check and you want to make sure you know how to do this, your answer you should get is -1,4. That's what you should get. If you don't, you might have done something wrong. And of course, I'm not here, so look at the steps on the back of your notes to help you along if you're lost. Okay, so now we're going to look at equations with 3 variables. These are kind of like the ones we solved yesterday, but we get to do them all in the calculator. There won't be any painstaking algebra or anything like this. What I want us to do is look and see, are there any without numbers in front? Like I see one here. Let's stick a 1 there. That way when I'm creating my matrix, I can just look up and say, oh, -1. Got it. Let's see this equation. I need a 1 there. I need a 1 there. And I need a 1 here. The process to get your matrix equation is still the same. We want all the x's, all the y's, all the z's. So in this column, I'll have a 2, a 1, and a 1. Then I'm going to have a -1, -3, and a 2. And then 5, 2, 1. There's my first matrix. Now, what variables am I solving for? What letters do I have up here? X. That doesn't look like an X. X, Y, Z. And now I know my ABCs. Okay, that's equal to 8, -17, and 21. Okay, so we have our matrix here. Now let's think of something here. What size is this first one? How many rows do I have? 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have 3 rows. How many columns do I have? 1, 2, 3. So this first matrix will be 3 rows, 3 columns. Let's put this beast in the calculator. So I'll go to Menu, Matrix, which is 7, 1 for Create, and then we want to create a matrix. Menu, 7, 1, 1. Rows, how many rows did we say? We said 3. What about columns? Also 3. There's our matrix. So now let's fill in all of our information here. 2, -1, 5, 1, -3, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so there's that matrix. We need to get out of there. And then we need to put our caret and then -1. Get out of there. Think of it like your mom would say, boy, get out of there. That's what we need to do. Get out of the exponent. Okay, go to Menu, because we need another matrix. So 7, 1, 1. But this time, how many rows do we need? 3. What about columns? In our small matrix, how many columns are there? There's only 1. 3 rows, 1 column. It's long and narrow. Hit OK. The top one, we had an 8. then a negative 17, and then a 21. Once we get that all put in, hit enter. It tells us our answer is 3, 8, and 2. Oh, well, let's put that over here on our notes. The answer here is 3, 8, and 2. There's that one. Now, by now, we've done 3 of these together in the calculator. I'm going to look at number 5. We'll set it up, but then when I do it in the calculator, I'm going to just do it real quick. I'll talk my way through it, but it'll be snap, snap, quick, quick. Okay, notice that we have 3 variables here. We have an x. All of them have an x. 2 have a y. And only 1 has a z. Even though they don't all have all variables, we have to make it to where they have all variables. What if you don't have anything though? Like if you had no money, what would you say? You have $0. So what we want to put up here, like for this first equation, I have 5x's minus 2y, but I don't have a z. So I'm going to put a plus 0z equals 4. The second equation, I have 4x's. I don't have a y, so I'm going to say plus 0y. And then minus 3z equals 20. And now on the last one, I have 5x minus, I'm going to go on and say 1y. Do I have a z? No. So plus 0z equals 7. So with us setting them up like this, we can now make our matrix really easy. The x's would be 5, 4, 5. What about the y's? Negative 2, 0, negative 1. What about your z's? 0, negative 3, 0. There's that matrix. Then we need our x, y, z equals. What are they all equal to? That one's equal to 4. That one's equal to 20. Third one's equal to 7. Okay, there's our matrix equation. So now we take this and put it in the calculator. So remember, to do a matrix, it's menu 7, 1, 1. On this matrix, I need 3 rows and 3 columns. Then I'll hit OK. Now I have to enter in all my numbers in the first matrix. So 5, negative 2, 0, 4, 0, -3, 5, -1, 0. Okay, there's that matrix. Get out of there, boy. We're out of our matrix. Raise that to the -1 power. Then don't forget, get out of there, boy. Then we need our other matrix. Menu 7, 1, 1. This time we need 3 rows, but only 1 column. Put that in there. Our numbers here are 4, 20, and then 7. Once you get that in, hit enter. There's our answer. 2, 3, -4. So we'll come over here and write in point form 2, 3, -4. Okay, so that's how you're going to do pretty much this whole assignment. Now, one thing I will say, on the front, it's pretty straightforward. You do what we've been doing. On the back, they ask you to create a matrix equation. Make sure that you pay attention where your x and y's are. You're going to have to rearrange one of the equations. On the front, not so much. Yeah, some you will. Look out for number 4, 5, and 6. Look out for those. They're tricky. 4, 5, and 6 on the assignment are tricky. But other than that, you have the rest of the period. Remember, if you turn it in to Miss Fancher before you leave, you get 10 points. Don't come to me Monday and say, oh, she wouldn't let me turn it in. No. If you turn it in today, you get 10 points. If you turn it in Monday, you turn it in Monday. So with that, y'all probably don't know who this is, but if you don't know and you want to know, look up Marvin Zindler, because I'm about to quote him. So, in the words of Marvin Zindler, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have good golf, good tennis, or whatever makes you happy. Mr. Schultz, Lufkin, Panther, Math.